Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In the last video you see me finishing the safety valve. Next I'm going to start with the governor casting. That goes on there, goes that way. Looking at the drawings in a minute, we got to make a little leg which will be brazed to the bottom of that with a screw mounting here. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to give that a good file up. And while I'm at it, that is the casting for the whistle, which the whistle mounts on the cylinder head just there behind the governor somewhere. So that one goes on there and that one will be fitted on there. So let's get these filed up. That little lump there is for an oiling hole, because you've got a shaft running through there, and just here you'll have two gears, one on the shaft here and one on the shaft here. That comes out through there. Right, I reckon for filing up that'll do. That's a lot better than what it was. I think now what we do, we give the whistle a file up. I don't think you need to watch me do that, so I'll get back to you. Right, that's a nice little casting, that. That's the actual body of the whistle, this lower part, and then you'll have a lever coming up here. So when you pull the lever, the air would be coming out of there. If I look at the drawing, I should be able to use this piece as the actual whistle part. So when you pull the lever, the air comes out there, and this is machined with a taper on it, so the air comes up there and causes the whistle. Anyway, let's put that aside. This here, we'll now look at the drawings. Obviously I have to machine this bottom off flat and square to this. You've got a shaft coming there and then a shaft going through there. Here you've got two bevel gears. So let's have a look at the drawing and start machining that. Right, I've got this little casting set up in the milling machine. I've taken ages making sure it's square this way and that way. What I've got to do now is just machine the top of that off till the sand casting is gone. Because what they've allowed is 1 5/16 from the centre of this shaft to the bottom of that. We're measuring that, that's just cleaning that up. So let's get on and do that. that's lovely. I can turn this over now. Get it set up for the end of the bottom area, which will be the top. Just going to flatten the top of that. In fact, I'll just have a look at the drawing, because there must be a measurement from the base to the top of that. Right, I've looked at the drawing. From the centre of that shaft to the top should be 3/8 of an inch. So I've got to take off 156 thou from the top, and that'll be the right height. So I'll just get on and do that. Right, that is the right height now. Next thing I'm going to do is get that central, and we're going to drill through there and possibly through the base. I have got some scrap metal under there, but I'll get that central, because I have again checked that all this is square this way and this way. So hopefully that hole will be nicely square right the way through the body and down through the base. Right, I'm just going to get that central there. Just move that in till the light comes on in there. Then I'll zero the axis. Slowly, there we are. Right, so I've got 5, 8, 3, 3. So we're going to move this back 2916. That should be the middle then. 2 9 1 6. Right, so that is the middle this way. So zero that, and then I'm going to do the same this way. I'll move that this way. Right. Right, so 2, 8, 8, 4. Right, so that is middle. Right, so now I'm going to drill a 1/8 hole right the way through there and out through the base. So let's just get a chuck on. Right, I'm just going to put a little center drill there. Lovely. Right, we'll just change the drills. Just change the drills. That drill is just long enough. Right, next thing then, I'll change to a 3/16 milling cutter and open that up. 3/16 by 5/16 deep. So I'll just change that. Right, so I've got that at 0 and I've got to go down 312 thou to the right depth. So let's just get that done. Right, there we are. I used a milling cutter because I wanted a flat bottomed hole. So that's this part drilled for now. Next we've got to turn that 90 degrees, make sure this is upright. And then we've got to drill a 3/16 hole all the way through there. That little bit of casting there will be cut out later because the shaft goes through there and you'll have a beveled gear here and a beveled gear here. So let's get that jigged up the right way. I've just centered that up, got that clamped in all square. I've checked it square this way. Now I've got to drill a 3/16 hole all the way through there. It's the center drill. So I'm just putting a smaller drill through first. Right, now we can put the 3/16 drill in there. We're right at the bottom there now. Just got to finish cleaning that little bit of casting out. Right, so I cleaned that little bit of casting out there. And there's a bit of 3/16 rod. There's a little pulley that'll be on this end. One of the bevel gears fitted on that end. And then there'll be a bevel gear up here, so these two bevel gears will be meshing. Next thing I'm going to do, put that little oil hole in there. Right, now just change the drill. Right, that's it. Little oil hole. Beautiful. Right, the next thing we got to do on here, I'll have to have a look at the drawer, and there's a little shaft runs across here. So I'll have to have a look at that next. But other than that, that's pretty good. Right, the next thing we're going to do, we got 2 holes to drill through these lugs here. So what I've done is I set it up with the digital readout. So from the center of that hole, we've come down 1/2 inch to the center, and from the center of that hole 3/8 of an inch. So I've got this longer center drill, and I'm just going to mark that deep enough to put the right size drill in there. There. When you look at this little lug here, that's dead in line there. So now I've got to drill a 1/16 hole through there and then down through there. I'll just change the drill. Right, that's through that one. Now I need to get a longer drill to drill through there and through there. Beautiful. There we are. That's those two done. Just unclamp that. Ooh. Right, the next one we got to do is a hole through there. So I'll just have a look at the drawing, because there's a measurement from the center of the shaft going through there down, and from the center of that shaft over. I'll just have a look at the drawing before I set that up. Right, so I've set up to drill that hole there. I mean, lining it up, if that was a shaft through there, there's a little cog got to fit on here, on this shaft, which lines up with a, on the drawing, it's got a piece of 1/4 inch studding, 1 inch pitch, which I think locates on the teeth of this little gear. So let's just get that. I'll put a center there and then put a 16th drill through it. Right, I'll just change the drill. Beautiful, there we are. Let's take that out of there. Right, that's pretty much as far as I can do at the minute. I've got to order some stainless rod for the shafts. So, but what I have done, I've ordered these little gears. I didn't make these. I think buying the cutters and all that lot, it's probably not worth it. So this gear, I've filed this up a lot more in here to make room for it and machined a little bit off this. Right, that gear goes in there. And that gear goes in there. When I get the right size rod, that'll have to have a grub screw on there and that, but that's great. Get in there. On the end of this shaft here, this is just a bit of bar I had, it's not the right size, but there's a pulley here. Let's put this on the steam head a minute. On the cylinder head. Right, so I've put it on the cylinder head. This shaft here will have a pulley on it. I mean, I've got to alter this arm here on the safety valve a minute. He's too fat there. But on this pulley here, you have a belt going from this pulley to, I don't know if you can see that pulley there. So the belt, when the crankshaft is going round, is turning this pulley, which then spins the gears, and then you've got weighted balls here. Hang on, let's just move that up. Yes, so the pulley on here turns this shaft, turns that gear, and above these you've got the 3 balls. which spin, and then you've got a piston and that going round there. That's how I read the drawing anyway. So still a lot of work to do there. It's tiddly little fiddly things. As I say, I've ordered some material. I'm waiting for that. So while I'm waiting for the material on there, I'm going to do a little bit of work to the whistle body. I mean, I've checked this. This is quite round, so that's got to be turned down to have a thread on it, which screws in the back there. There's a hole right through, and you've got some seals, rubber seals. Through the rod there when you pull the whistle. Then we got to part that off there and machine the angle bit in there and that. But yeah, I'm going to start doing the whistle. Right, so the first thing, I'm going to turn this spigot here down to 1/4 of an inch. Looking at the drawing, that then will be threaded later on to screw into the cylinder head. So let's do that first. Right, just check that. $250, so I want 49 off, 49.5. Set that back to 0. Right. Just check that again. $19.5 off to go. So we'll just check that. Look at that. 3 to go, look. Let's just have a measure of that. Oh, that'll do. That'll do, lovely. Right. So the next thing what I'm going to do, take that out of the way a minute. In the middle there, right the way through that part, we have got, we look at the drawing, a 7/64 hole right the way through there, and we need to put a 7/64 hole there, but we can't drill right through. We only got to go a certain depth, and then when we've drilled this hole and done this part, we can then at an angle drill that 1/16 hole. So I'm just going to put a little center drill in there first. Right, so I put some tape on there. I don't want to go any deeper than that. And that way I'll miss the hole which runs through there. Right, so we'll just drill that. That's that done. Next thing I do now, I haven't threaded that because I'm going to hold that in a collet block, so I can then machine these flat faces and then drill right the way through with the same size drill, this piece right the way through, and then I can then do the rest of the machining in this end, which then will have a slight angle drill, 16th hole going through there to meet up with that hole. Right, so I'll just get that set up on the milling machine. Right, so the next thing we've got to do, from the center of that hole to the top of that flat, is 335 of an inch. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, is machine that flat before I drill right through. So what I've done is I lowered that down and found the center of that hole. I've raised it up, that's the finished height. I've zeroed off the Z height on the digi. So now I'll raise that up and just machine that down till I go to 0 on my digital scale. Next thing I do, I'll get that centered so I can drill right the way through there. Right, I've got that centered on there. Now I'm going to drill right through with that little drill. Right, that's right through. Lovely. Next thing I got to do, a little slot for the arm. I'll just find a cutter wide enough for that. Right, I'm now going to cut the slot for where the arm would be while it's set up here. Right, that'll do. Lovely. Now what I can do, I can turn it so this faces up, machine that to the right height from the center of that hole to the top, then finish machining that little bit so I can then get that angled hole, 16th hole, to meet up with that. Right, so the same again. I got to the center of that hole and I've come up, that is the finished height that face needs to be. So I'll just go up a little bit and then work my way down. And I've set the digital readout to 0 to there, so when I go up I go down to 0. Right, I can now machine this part here. Drill that hole, ready for threading, and then I can drill that hole there, the 16th hole, to join that hole to there. Right, so I got this cutter in, and I'm going to go down 2,600 to the bottom there first. $265, sorry. Right. Now I'll change the bit for a smaller bit to make this small counter bore. That'll allow for the rubber seal and that to fit in there. Right, that's that little recess done in the bottom of that. Beautiful. Now that's going to be tapped with a 1/4 inch tap. I'll just sort that out. Beautiful. Right, so that's that side done. So the next thing we've got to do, mount this at an angle so we can drill that 16th hole from there to meet up with this hole there. Just get that set up. Right, that's not very good. I'll have to find a different way of doing that. The drill's too bendy. I don't want to ruin the thread inside there. I'll have to think about that. So what I'm going to do is drill the hole for the pivot for the arm, for the lever. Oh, good. Well, that's a good start on these little castings. I mean, I haven't got time to do any more now this weekend. So let's recap what we've done. So what we've done is we've cleaned up the 2 castings. I may give that even more filing later on. I've drilled the hole in the end for the steam coming out of the cylinder head, and I've drilled for the arm, and I've drilled for the steamway and threaded the end. I've still got to drill the hole which connects that hole up in there to there. I have to find a different drill. I might even try and find a 16th milling cutter or something which is a bit stiffer. And then also we've cleaned up and machined this part. I'm waiting for some material, some stainless for the shafts, make the pulley, make this little shaft here, We've done very well actually. They're very fiddly, little fiddly bits. So please subscribe to my channel and join me as I build a 2-inch scale Fowler Showmans traction engine.